What's up, Facebook world? Hanging outside with the one and only Big Mama Rood in the flesh. Let a few guys hop on. Yeah, I'm always talking real estate. I'm always talking business. I'm always talking entrepreneurship. But man, a big part of how I'm able to even be successful is because Big Mama right here, holding down the fort, you know. And guys, if you come on, please share and invite. You know, I wanted to talk about, relationships and marriage. I've been married for, what's up, Bear? I've been married for how long? I always say 20 years.
Since 2000.
But I've been with you for 20 years, but I've been married for...
We've been together for 21 years.
We've been together for 21 years, been married, what, 17 years?
Since 2003.
16, 7? I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, and I've had to work like a mule, and we have 5 kids, so I've always had to work all the time. And what's up, Pat? Please share and invite if you're just coming on. But it's interesting because, I appreciate that, Pat. It's interesting because everybody's worried about starting a business and failing or not having the right idea. But it's funny, but most people lose their wealth not from starting a business and failing, but a lot of people losing their wealth because they're starting a business and then they're leaving their wife, or their wife's leaving them, right? The wife's leaving them because they're not taking care of their marriage, right? What's up, Junior? So let me tell you, if you're not holding the fort back at home and your wife's not holding down the fort with you with your kids, dude, it's going to be tough to start a business. It's going to be tough to be an entrepreneur, right? So you got to make sure you have the same purpose as your wife. Like, my wife knows what I'm trying to do. She knows that I'm trying to build the empire for us and our kids. She knows the greater good, so we're in alignment, right? And if you almost have to run your marriage like a business, right? Everything's got to be in order. She has to know her job, duty, and hat. I know my hat. She knows her, she knows my hat, and I know her hat. So we don't cross paths. We stay in our different lanes. And I think what happens with a lot of guys is and we do it together. So she's on board and she helps me a lot of this stuff. And we still have 5 kids, guys. And you're like, probably, how the hell you do that with 5 kids? We have babysitters, right? And we get help. And maybe you're listening to this and you're saying, Chris, I don't have the money to even hire help.
We didn't always hire help.
We didn't
always hire help.
That's right. We didn't always hire help.
And sometimes when we weren't hiring help, he would come home and it would be like all the blood had drained out of my whole body from watching all the kids all day. And he understood it, that I was, what to expect when you got home. Like, you didn't need to give her a break. And it's all about communication and realizing when it's your turn to take, the reins, and when it's her turn to take the reins. And it really
well, you just said something. It's communication, guys. It's really all communication. Mm-hmm. Because if you can't, and that light behind me, if you can't communicate with your wife on a high level, dude, your marriage is going to fall off the bandwagon.
Just be honest.
Yeah, no, you have to be honest.
But honest in just an open and easy way. I think most people communicate with anger, and they just get angry, and they just like, oh my God, you're not helping me, or you're not doing this, or you're not doing that. Instead of saying, look, like, man, I had a long day. I feel like I need like 30 minutes to myself to like go breathe.
When it works in opposite. Like when she knows how busy, when I'm super busy, like she'll take the kids away from me and say like, hey,
he's got shit to do.
She knows how busy I am. She takes the kids and she goes in a different room, right? What's up, Joel? So it's interesting, the dynamics of a relationship. Like, why is everybody getting divorced? Like, more than half of my buddies that got married in high school all divorced. Shit, some of them were divorced and married 2 or 3 times, right? So it's crazy because, they fall in love when they're young and then they lose it as they get older. A lot of it has to do, what's up, Mark? A lot of that has to do with, ethics, right? Dude, how many people are cheating? How many of you are on here in this live that are going to watch this are cheating on your husband or wife and you're not saying nothing, huh? Hey, huh? You right there listening? I know it's probably you. You right there. Yeah, you. Not the guy behind you. You been cheating on your wife or what? So anyway, no, I'm just playing with you guys, but no, it's true. Like,
a lot of people.
How much infidelity is there out there, right? It's freaking crazy. Like, and a lot of that may be, I don't want to say it's merited, because we just found out like a couple that hadn't had sex in 2 years and they've been married. So That's not
a long, long
the
time.
how do you this guy's married and his wife hadn't had sex with him in 2 years. Like, dude, that's unethical. Like, that's criminal to do that to him. Man. You don't do that to Big Daddy, huh? To me, huh? Not bad, not Big Mama. She knows better. So, but there's a lot of different things. There's a lot of different factors like ethics, communicating in a relationship, creating the marriage, right? So many of you guys are watching. Too many of you guys are watching freaking Cinderella stories on Hollywood. You know, thinking
they
like
have the wrong
they have that. Yeah, you watch when you. I guess as a teenager, you watch all these movies and you think that's how marriage is supposed to be. It's like you're always happy and everything's happy-go-lucky and you just sail away in the sunset and you're it's hunky dory after that. It's ridiculous,
but
right?
In the flip side, I think if you grow up in a family that's always fighting, you also think that's okay too, and it's not okay. Like I had a certain expectation of the life and marriage I wanted because of what I witnessed in my parents. And
but don't listen. We fight. We fight like everybody else.
I mean, there's not like we don't fight like crazy, to be honest.
No.
Maybe once every 6 months we have a big fight.
A big fight. Well, we have baby fights at least.
Yeah, not
at least
often.
once every month, a baby fight.
Yeah, but nothing that's
nothing's like
crazy.
Yeah, nothing crazy. But
like,
that's
like
real life.
You get over it in a couple
you get over it
hours.
in an hour. But it's like I think a lot of these people get in fights and then they're like, well, I guess I must not be. This must not be the right partner for me. We fight all the time because they might fight once every 2 weeks or they have a disagreement and they end up fucking leaving each other. It's just stupid. Like, dude, the grass ain't green on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it, right?
Right.
The grass is green where you water it, and you're gonna have to create the marriage. Like, you can't sit here and think that you're gonna watch a Cinderella story or watch the fucking The Notebook is a pretty good movie. I can't lie.
It is a pretty good
That's a good movie, but that's kind of what I can't. If there is any movie that you should watch, it's probably real as shit when it comes to marriage and relationship. That's probably The Notebook. But I'm talking about these movies like, what's a fake movie that people fall in love with? They think that's how marriage and love's supposed to be. Happily ever after stuff. Like, dude, that's not how it is. Like, dude, our marriage is a business.
Constantly work on it.
It's a business. We put effort and energy into it to make it work. And she trusts me to do the right thing. I trust her. And, for one, we communicate on a high level. Like, I tell her my insecurities. I tell her what I'm struggling with. She tells me what she's struggling with. And we help each other. And our ultimate goal is that we have a purpose together. Like, we know where we want to be. We want to build, wealth for our family and leave a legacy for our kids. And if we both know that, then we can both predict our behaviors and help one another and not fight against one another, right? But, what's funny is that the majority, I'm going to tell you right now, the majority of you guys that are getting divorced is because you got one of two things. You got a third party that's not, like, nagging at you. You got somebody that's putting a wedge in between your marriage. You ever notice most people get divorced because, I say most, half of the people that do get divorced, they're getting divorced because you got somebody in your vicinity that's spreading lies and rumors and trying to actively and intentionally get you divorced. It could be an in-law, it could be an ex-wife, it could be you never know, right? You never know. Like, and then the second thing is, a lot of people are freaking cheating on each other, right? A lot of people are cheating on each other. It's crazy. It's crazy how much people are cheating on each other. Even people I know, my friends, right? I went to high school with. It's kind of crazy, right? But you have to create the marriage. Like, you have to, like, do shit together all the time. You've got to trust one another, right? So it's funny when you see all these people getting divorced, especially like I said, my friends. I've at least half of my friends have gotten divorced that I went to high school with. So, but me and Patty, like, we went through some rough shit, like crazy rough shit. I got her pregnant when I was 17. I mean, there's stuff that I wouldn't even tell you that's pretty crazy. I mean, that's embarrassing, but it's just, but we kept doing the right thing over time. And when you do the right thing over time, like, you almost look back and you
just kept pushing through.
Yeah, we kept
We kept pushing through. We kept pushing through. And we just kept pushing through because we knew ultimately if we could be the right people, we can be good together. Like, if we could work on each other, like if I could work on myself, he could work on himself, we can be completely compatible and happy and live a great life.
Well, you just said that we always worked on ourselves. Like, that's one thing. I'm a huge advocate of personal development. Like, I'm always trying to level up to the next echelon. What's the next level of how good I can get as an individual, as a being, mentally, spiritually, emotionally? Like, how can I just keep being a better person, right? And I think that's one thing that both of us have done, is we both worked on each other and supported each other on getting better, doing the right thing. And over time, dude, you're gonna build something together that you don't want to divorce. Like, you don't want to. And then, dude, as soon as you have some infidelity, as soon as you have some out ethics in your marriage, where like one's doing something that the other one doesn't know about, dude, that's it. You're gonna start making shit up that's not real. You're gonna want to leave your husband. You're gonna want to leave your wife, whatever it may be, right?
You're looking for little small excuses to make into big things, so you can have that excuse to leave.
Yes. Hey, look, we struggle with our marriage too. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting there talking, beating my chest, say I got the best marriage. No, dude, I fight with Patty just as much as anybody else. But we have the same direction. We have the same goals and purposes. Like, we know what we want, But at the end of the day, like, dude, I just want her to be happy. I want to be happy, and I want her to support me, and she supports me. Like, I was having a bad day today, and she shot me a text, being supportive of me, and because I was on the struggle bus today. I was like, man, I'm just not feeling it today, right? And she just supports me, and we don't let anybody in our space. Like, we don't let anybody fuck our heads up or mess up our marriage. Like, I push everybody out. Like, we don't hang out with other couples and do. I mean, if I'm hanging out with other couples, we talking business. I'm not going to hang out with other people, and we work. If we're going to do something, we're going to do something with our kids, or we're going to do something related to building our legacy and our wealth for our family. Period. Like, I think a lot of couples get in trouble when they start hanging out and drinking and partying every weekend. I think that's where trouble arises. And you do that when you're young.
Well, because
you do a lot of that
everybody you bring into your life has baggage, and their baggage becomes your baggage, and you already have baggage, so you don't have time for all their baggage, because that creates so many problems in the relationship and your own kids that you're like, man, I don't have time for this. Like, I have to work on my little circle here.
Yeah, we got enough baggage. We got
exactly.
our own. Like, everybody's got their cray cray. Everybody's got if you don't think.
And it's okay to have your cray.
And if you don't think you cray cray, then you really fucking cray cray. Let me tell you, that's what I just said. I'm gonna repeat myself.
Own you crazy.
If you don't think you cray cray, then you really freaking cray cray. All right. that you can quote that and put on a shirt and sell it. I'm telling you right now, because most of you.
Own your cray.
Yeah, everybody's crazy, dude. Own your craziness and embrace it. But I don't have time to put up with other people's craziness. That's why we don't let people in our little circle. Right?
I was thinking about it the other day because I was talking to a friend who's living in Birmingham. And I said, you know what? I am totally okay with, like, my little roof of people. Like, the people that live over. If I only had that in my life, I could totally be okay. Like, you have to be comforted by the people who are underneath your roof. You don't have to need that friend to make you whole. You don't have to need that other person to make you whole.
Yeah.
Your wholeness resides under your roof. Like, that's your family. That's your wholeness. You shouldn't have to go to a best friend to find wholeness. You should have that.
How many of our friends we know are people we went to school with that, like, all they do is hang out and take pictures with their besties. Their best.
It's strange to me, and I'm not saying that's wrong.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Like that, but it depends on the bestie though. If your bestie has a lot of baggage and drama and they bring that into your life and then it comes between you and your husband, well, then that's a problem. But I'm totally okay just having the people within my roof and traveling the world and being totally okay with that. I don't need all these extra people in my life to make me feel whole.
I'm telling you, the more people you have in your life, especially in your marriage, as you get older, I think you younger guys that are watching this, you probably feel like you need all your buddies because you used to hang around with them in high school. But as you get older, guys, you don't need all that. Like, you need to be hanging around with your wife and your kids. Like, we do everything with our wife and our kids. That's all we do. If we're hanging out with other people, it's business. That's it. Now, you may not agree with that. You may disagree with that, but that's just how we roll. And it works for us, right? And then to think that, dude, people change over time, right? I was a piece of shit when I was young. I was on drugs. I was, just being crazy. And a lot of my craziness stemmed from just being on drugs and just doing stupid stuff. But, she stuck with me that whole time. Man, that light is killing me behind me. She stuck with me the whole time. And it meant a lot, right? And I changed over time, and I worked on myself. And so did she. Like, she had a lot of issues. And it's just funny how you grow and adapt. I'm almost 40 years old, and it's like the person I was when I was 18, which everybody changes, right? But you almost mold yourself into the person if you stay with somebody long enough. Not granted, I'm not saying if you get married that you should never divorce somebody. Like, there's always going to be special circumstances where, like, the dude's turned into abuse. It might be whatever. I don't know. There's a number of different things, but to walk away from it so easily is where you see a lot of people, they just fucking walk away from their marriage. Like, dude, what are you doing? And for all you haters probably coming on here, it's like, oh shit, Chris Rood's talking about marriage. Who does he think he is? Guys, I've been married for 20 years. So I've been with the same woman for 21 years. I got 5 kids. How many of you guys can say that, right?
Well,
how many guys can you say that,
18,
right? So, you know, we had our first kid at 17, 18 years old, and it was tough. We went through a lot of bad shit, but dudes, fight for the marriage. You gotta fight to stay with, like, it's a constant struggle, battle, and you have to fight. You have to fight, right? So understand that, right? Let's take some of these questions. Let's see.
I like what Paul says. I think that the spouses that enjoy the same level of fun and boredom together last on the long haul. I can experience this is what my parents, how their life was, how they functioned. They wanted a simple life. They wanted to have a camp that they could go fishing at, and they enjoy each other's time. If they're in the middle of nowhere, going fishing. My mom was always very passive. She was like, what do you want to do? As long as I'm with you, I'm okay experiencing it. And that was kind of how their life was, and it still is. And they have a great relationship. And that's exactly right. They liked the same thing. They enjoyed each other's company.
But you have to create the marriage. You have to create it, guys. Like, you have to, like, work at it. Like, it's work. It's a business. Run your marriage like a business. Put energy, put effort, put attention. If you don't put any energy, effort, and attention into your business, what happens? It crashes, right? If I don't go pay attention to my business or my sales or my marketing or the sales process or the prospects or the clients, guess what? My business crashes. The same goes for a business. It's got different departments. You got your wife, you got your kids, you got cooking, you got cleaning, you got delegation of certain job duties inside the house and outside. I mean, you've got keeping your wife satisfied, keeping your husband satisfied.
You know what I think is really hard?
But that's the business behind the marriage, and nobody's talking about that. Run your marriage like a business, guys, and I'm telling you, it'll run a lot better. Stop watching movies of like, oh, you're always going to be madly in love with each other. You're always going to have hot sex. Dude, that shit goes away. Well, not really for me, but we still have some pretty hot sex for being almost 40 years old. Actually, better than...
Listen, I'm 38.
You're 38. Okay, she's 38. But anyway, enough of the rated R stuff. That we might have some kids on here. But regardless, guys, like, create the marriage, right? Create it. Run it like a business.
And don't let the struggles, like, bring you under.
Yeah, like you're going to fight. Like, that's a part of the game.
And not just fighting, like having kids that grow up and become teenagers and, make decisions and having to cope with different children's characteristics and personalities. That's probably been the hardest part.
The hardest, yeah. Honestly, the hardest part has been, kids. I mean, we got 5 kids, right? Every one of them are different. Some are nothing like us. Some of them are like me. Some are like Pat. Like, it's just weird. Like, you don't know what you're gonna get. And dealing with those different types of personalities, like, I'm not the perfect father. I mean, I try to spend as much time as I can with them. I'm not perfect by any means. I've had my struggles with some of my kids, and I don't relate to some of them. But it's like, I love them no matter what, and I grant them beingness, let them be who they are. But at the same token, like, it's a learning lesson. Like, when you're born, like, you're not given, or even when you get married, there's no instruction manual how to stay married, right? How to stay married. How to raise kids. Like, you almost have to make adjustments and, fine tune this and that.
You have to be open to getting help too. Because there's nothing wrong with getting outside help and counsel on situations that you don't know the answer for. I think, when things go sour is because one or the other doesn't want to help themselves. They don't want to admit there's a problem, and they don't want to help themselves. Like, if I know I suck at a certain skill, like, maybe I'm going to read an Audible book or something about how I can improve on that. Because you just have to admit that, man, I'm not good at this part of parenting or marriage or life, but I'm willing to work on it and be open to learning what I need to do to make this work. I think a lot of people don't really want to work on themselves.
Sarah just said something. She says being mindful of toxic influence is so valuable. Guys, I'm telling you, that's what most of you guys are getting divorced.
I have the radar.
Yeah, you're gonna have people put wedges. You're gonna have
Yes.
friends. It could be friends. It could be brothers, sisters. You know, family members. Like, you have to like push everybody out. You know, if your daddy was your daddy growing up, your mama was your mama growing up, like, you can't let them influence your marriage, because they will. You know, I mean, that's just part of life. I mean, and honestly, I'll probably do the same thing to my daughter when she gets married. I'll probably be like, oh my God,
I don't even want to think about
you know, I don't, you know, don't do this with my daughter, or, you know, make sure. I mean, it's just, it's nature. It's natural, but you got to understand, like, you're gonna grow up. You got to let your parents go. You got to let your friends go. But, you know, understand that, like, it's a business. I'm gonna keep repeating myself because this is the most important thing, guys. It's a business. Marriage is a business. It requires effort. It requires work. It requires delegation. It requires ethics. You got to have sales pitches. I mean, I give Patty sales pitches all day, every day.
At least once a day.
At least once a day.
On a different business idea, more sex.
More sex.
There's always a sales pitch going on.
There's always a proposition going on.
Should I hire this person? Should I get rid of this person? It's
Yeah. So yeah, guys. So it's
telling me on something.
You know, it's I'm selling my wife on stuff. She's selling me, trying to sell me on freaking Chanel purses or whatever the frick she's trying to. You know, it's just. But anyway, but that's the point. Like, it is a business. Treat it as so. Stop watching Hollywood movies. It's not real.
Be open to change.
Be open to change. Be open to improvement, and make sure when you improve, you bring your wife with you. Right? I got my wife reading all kind of books this year. She's read probably 3 or 4 books in the past 3 months. Huh?
More than that.
More than that?
Oh, in the past 3 months?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
She's read about 3 or 4 books in the past 3 months, and and we have 5 kids, guys. Like, it's hard for her to read books, right?
Well, can you turn it?
And wait, hold on. And not even just that. Like, you have to do shit together and improve. Like, not only do we go to personal development seminars, we go to conferences together. We work out together. So, like, we work on each other. Like, it's you got to hit all the different platforms, right? I mean, if you know, are working out, but your wife's not working out,
okay,
and,
but
you know,
listen,
yeah, go ahead, Big Mom. I'm sorry. I'm going off on a tangent.
When my kids were little, like, there was very little time for personal development on myself. There was very little time for anything with myself. But once I got past that hump, I realized, okay, it's time for me to work on myself. But he had to go through that hard time with me. Like, you have to, as a husband, when, you know, your baby's a little, you know, it's going to be a different kind of life for your wife for a little while. And then, you know, after she gets through that hump, and then she could start, you know, working on ways of getting out the house, being more motivated, going work out. You can't expect all those things right away. It's all phases of life. Because there was a phase of life that I couldn't work out every day. I couldn't do all those things. I had 2 little babies.
That, and you have, like, you have anxiety. You have.
And I had a lot of anxieties. Every time I have a baby, I have, like, years of, like, it takes your body to get used to yourself again. So there's phases of life you have.
Hold on, I gotta turn the camera, guys. We got naked babies running around.
There's just phases of life you have to be okay pushing through before you can make the breakthrough.
Go inside, little naked baby. Get your butt inside.
Because I think it's easy for a husband to get frustrated with that phase of life.
Hold on, he's right. Bring him inside.
Arden, go inside or go put some clothes
We got
on.
naked babies running around.
You just gotta
The little baby's always he don't like to have clothes on.
No,
Get your little butt
I
inside,
don't
baby.
believe in clothes.
Anyway, guys, you know, it's just, you know, I'm always talking real estate. I'm always talking entrepreneurship, but I really thoroughly enjoy the subject of marriage, relationships.
Well, because it doesn't matter how much trailer parks you have, if you have to split it.
Yeah, if I'm buying mobile home parks and I'm making all kind of money and getting wealthy,
I take him to the cleaners.
I'm gonna be living in that mobile home park. So, and that's the thing, guys. Like, you always worried about your employees stealing from you, but or other partners. But man, you got to worry about your wife too. You got to take care of your wife, because she'll take half of what you got if you ain't keeping her happy, right? You know. I mean, let's
just be real.
Let's be real. Unless you got a prenuptial agreement.
Naked baby.
I'm still working on that post-nuptial agreement to her to sign, but I can't get her to sign it for some reason.
He ain't going to.
So anyway, but guys, let's see what kind of questions we got here. It's hard when your partner doesn't understand the intentions of friends and family who successfully manage to stir things up. I agree with that, Sarah. Like, every time, no, listen, I agree, especially as you get older, guys. I mean, when you run out of, if you get married, you're 22, you still want to hang out with your friends, but as you get older, like, that shit gets old, guys. That becomes trouble. Patty, go. They running around. Go put them inside before they fall.
Hey, listen.
Patty, can you recommend some personal development books for women? Girl, Clean Your Face.
Girl, Wash Your Face.
Girl,
I really like that book.
I know she read. Girl, Wash Your Face is a good book that Patty read. I know it's a good book.
I'll post it later once I go through them.
Yep.
I loved Elena's book on building an empire.
Building an Empire.
That
Yeah, that's
one
a great book.
resonated a lot with me.
Yeah. Chelsea, that's where I'm at with the babies being so little and trying to be an entrepreneur. 5 months and 22 months. Hey, listen, Kelsey, it's going to be hard. Like, it's going to be real hard. It's going to be real hard to run a business and have kids. But it's worth it. Like, I think a lot of people are looking for the easy route. Like, dude, look for the hard route. Look for shit that's hard to do. I mean, I'm not saying be stupid and work your brains out, but you have to understand that anything that's worth building is going to be real hard, like real hard, but it's going to be worth it, right? So if you got to, it's all about never quitting and just sticking to it. Like, just like with our marriage, like, you don't think I wanted to divorce Patty? How many times we wanted to divorce? 100 times before?
100. No.
Hundreds.
Not that
No,
many.
I'm joking. But I mean, no, but it's real, guys. Like, you can't quit. It's like, that's why most businesses I start don't fail, because, and not
You
that I
have to
haven't.
be very accepting.
Well, not,
too.
but you can't quit. It's
You
like,
can't quit, but you also have to be accepting that
Mama,
certain
the
things are not always going to be perfect.
No, I agree. But the underlying, I think if we can add value to the people watching, they're going to watch this. We probably have a couple thousand people watch this. Guys, treat your marriage like a business. Know it's going to be really hard. Do the hard work. You're going to have ups and downs, just like business. You're going to make a lot of money, and then you're going to crash and not make a lot of money. Or you're going to be madly in love, and then you're going to hate your husband. It's the same shit with a marriage.
Can't quit your
You
business.
can't quit your business marriage, right? Or your marriage business. You can't quit. Don't quit. Now, if your husband's beating you, there's a couple times she used to beat me up all the time that I thought about, leaving her ass, but I stuck it out, right?
Hey, you needed it.
But but that's what it is. Run it like a business, and you'll be golden. Don't quit, right? And as you build momentum, you get older and older, and you have more years behind you. You'll look back, you're like, man, wow, we created something awesome together, right? But if you're secretly cheating on your husband, I guarantee there's no way. I'm telling you right now, for you guys that are cheating on your husband or wife, or your wife cheating on your husband, I'm telling you right now, your marriage, I don't care if you still love your husband, I guarantee you will leave your husband, or your husband will leave you. Even if he never finds out. Let me tell you why. Because it don't matter if he doesn't know or she doesn't know. You know. And you're going to have such a guilty conscience. You're not going to be able to live with yourself, and you're going to secretly back off from your husband or wife, and you're going to leave them. Because you know, and that's all that matters, right? So don't think because, you've been cheating on your wife or husband and they never found out, right? You will leave that person over time. So have some fucking ethics. If you feel like you need to cheat on your husband or wife, maybe you have a relationship issue. Maybe your wife ain't having sex with you. I don't know. Like I have buddies that have that issue with their wife. They have sex with them like once every freaking 6 months a year, which is not okay, by the way. I mean, you can't do that to a man. Maybe she's got some hormone issues. Maybe she needs to get checked out. Maybe you should have a conversation with her instead of just going to cheat on her, right? So it's like, there's all kind of different factors, right? Or maybe you leave your husband because he doesn't make enough money for you, right? You want to live a better lifestyle. It's crazy, guys. At one time, Patty made more money than me. Like literally out of college when I was 22, I started an oil change business out the back of my truck. Patty laughed at me because she had like 3 jobs at one time. She was waiting tables. She was making like $200 and $300 a day waiting tables and doing other stuff. And I'd come back with a measly $50.
Some nights I would make $600-$700 a night. And
doing those parties at
Yes.
the River Ranch. But and I'd come back full of oil. Like I was changing oil out the back of my truck and washing cars. And I'd come back, baby, I made $50 today. And she laughed. I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? Like, seriously, what are you doing? But the point is, I'm telling you this because, she was supportive of me, right? And sometimes it takes a long time to make a little bit of money. Like I'm almost 40 years old. I'm just starting to get where we've been making really good money. We're doing well. We're buying more assets. We have nice things. I still have, I run into cash flow problems just like everybody else and have ups and downs in my business just like everybody else. I'm not freaking, I haven't made it by any stretch of the means. I got a long way to go to really feel like I've, gotten where I want to go.
Make it,
yeah, and you're right. You're right, Big Mama. You'll never make it, and it's true. But you got to be supportive of one another, and go for the long haul, guys. You guys are going for the short run, thinking you're gonna have a successful marriage with a 40-yard sprint. It don't work that way. Like it's a long cross country 5-10 mile run. Like it's a long haul. It's a long play. So.
And we joke about a lot of stuff too. Like when we feel like we need to get away from the kids or they driving us crazy, we like make jokes about it. You know, about how we like need to get out of this space or just need a break. We kind of just laugh about it because it's like, what you gonna do? Like you have 18 years to raise these kids.
Dude, I gotta go hide her in the closet just to have sex with her sometimes. Let's be real. Let's not hide it. I gotta go.
You have to escape sometimes and make.
Hey, I'm sorry, guys. Look, from South Louisiana, we don't have any filters. Like we just tell it like it is. I don't sugarcoat it for what it is. But you know, that's real shit, guys. That's real talk. That's, you know.
It's comical at times.
Yeah, I mean, and it's hard. Like it's hard, but it's fun at the same time. Like I look at my marriage and my life now. I'm like, man, like we went through so much. We've been through a lot, you know, and it's like, wow, we freaking made it, and we're still trying to make it. Like we still haven't made it yet. I feel like we've arrived and made it when I freaking kicked the bucket or she kicks the bucket, and that's the finish line. Hey, you had a successful marriage. You died. The journey is the destination, but the all the hard work that we're having to do to keep the kids going. I mean, look, we're not conventional parents. Like I just pulled all of my kids out of school. We're homeschooling our kids. We're traveling the country. I'm doing speaking engagements almost every month. I have a coaching company. I have a real estate business. I'm buying properties in Alabama, Florida, Louisiana. Like we're not doing things the normal way, right? And I'm not advocating that you do that too, but I'm just telling you, be careful of what information you're getting out there, because the Cinderella story, get a 9-to-5 job, put your kids in school, and do all the things that everybody else does, it doesn't always work, right?
We don't really follow the herd.
And I don't follow the herd. Like I do me. I do what I know.
We do what works for us.
We do what works for us. You know, we try to.
Every time we try to follow that line that everybody else goes on, it's miserable for us. We're like, this fucking sucks. Like we need something more.
Yeah.
And so we always find an unconventional way.
Or you're getting your kids back from school and they've been in school all day, then they have another 3 hours of homework. What?
Like what?
What?
I ain't got time for that shit.
We homeschool.
There has to be a better option.
Yeah.
Like I'm not living that way.
Yeah. Let's see, we got some questions here. That's where I'm at with the babies being so little and trying to be an entrepreneur 5 months. Okay, I read that one already. You can't fail until you quit. That's right, Sarah. Diana Gonzalez, we love you, Patty. Oh, that's sweet. I appreciate that. I'm sure Patty appreciates that too. Joel says, thicken that skin together and you will push through. That's right, Joel.
It is a lot of thick skin.
That's right. You know, and if you don't, guys, you know, it's hard. Like, and I keep repeating myself because I want you to understand, like, a marriage is hard. It's a business. That's why it's so hard. That's why the fail rate is so high. That's why a business fail rate is so high, because it's hard, right? Treat it like a business. This is the last thing I'm going to tell you before we go. Section off every aspect of your life. What's up, Eric? Section off every aspect of the marriage, the kids, the money, the cooking, the cleaning, the organization of the clothes, the picking up and dropping off of kids, and put it in writing. Or if you don't put it in writing, delegate it and have a set system, and then make time for you and your wife to spend time together, and put it there and make it a chore. Like, you have to go do stuff together. Like we try to do, we at least go do something together, me and you, at least once a month, huh? Probably, well, no, more than that, probably twice a month, where it's just me and her, and we put it there and we spend time with one another. And that's running it like a business, right? Because I'm putting time, attention, and energy into Patty. Then I put time, attention, into the kids. I put time and energy, intention into making money so I can support them. You know, one of those factors is falling off the bandwagon if you get into, and I put time and attention to make sure I'm doing the right thing, because a lot of you guys are putting time and attention into the titty bars while you're married, and chasing skirts knowing that you're married. You know, it's funny. It's you guys are self-sabotaging.
You have to put the attention in the right place.
Well, and it's just, you know, it's comical how many of my buddies I know that cheat on their wives, and it's just like, Jesus. And I call them my buddies. It's acquaintances, people I know. But anyway, any last final thoughts, Big Mama?
I think you just have to communicate. You have to be honest with how you feel, if you're having struggles, if you need help.
And what should you do if like you've done a lot of harmful things to your husband, and you like have a lot of withholds? Like
you need to stop withholding and just say,
come clean and tell him every bad thing.
Listen, I'm uncomfortable with this situation. This is
no,
why.
I'm talking about,
I made some mistakes.
Tell him.
I want to be open with you. I want to tell you where I fucked up, because I know that I owe you that, to tell you all the things I've done to you. if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to hide. Like,
well, you won't withdraw yourself from your.
You can be closer when you have nothing.
Well, if you have clean guys, if you got clean hands, you're not gonna be paranoid, and you're not gonna want to leave your wife. You're not gonna leave. I promise you're not gonna want to leave your wife. But the problem is you have secret little bad intentions, and you end up doing a few bad acts of act of omission or commission, meaning you either actively cheating on her, or you do secret stuff behind her back, and maybe you're lying to her all the time. Like, I think that's why we've had such a successful marriage, that like we're really open and honest with one another. Like, dude, I've even even if a hot girl walks by, I'm like, hey Patty, you seen that freaking hot chick? How freaking smoking hot that girl is that walked by? Like, I'll tell her straight up, man, that chick is freaking smoking, right?
So like, when
but it's real talk, right? I'm not, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna go, hey, like, let me go try to bang that girl. You know, like no, that's it. But I'm a guy. I realize I'm a guy. I realize that, as a male, that, males have needs, and males are going to look at other females and be like, man, she's hot. But, man, some of these guys are, like, actively trying to go and hook up with these girls and be crazy. And, and that could be the reverse. Maybe it's a female doing it. I don't know.
I mean, maybe it's just a shopping trip. You don't want to admit you spent $4,000.
Yeah.
On a Chanel bag.
That you don't need.
But you just have to do it, right? Because you're a girl, and that's what you like.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, I don't mean to rant. I like to talk about this topic. I really do. Like, I want to, I like to. I love when I see a couple, that's like a guy I know, Joel Gonzalez. He's on here, right? He's putting on Impact Players tour. I'm gonna be emceeing the whole event in LA, November 10th. He's been with his wife. We have a lot in common. We talk all the time about marriage. He's been with his wife for 30 years. 30 years. And he's got
5 kids.
He's got 5 kids too. And we talk about this, how, like, what it's like to have a marriage. And a marriage is hard, guys. And we're actually going to be probably launching some a marriage course together to help you guys at Impact Players, to help you guys with your marriage, right? And I'm not saying I'm some freaking guru marriage counselor, but I know that some of these marriage counselors are not doing their job, because most people I know, they go to marriage counseling still get divorced. So, but my point is, guys, have good ethics, have good intentions.
Be willing to work on yourself.
Yeah, be willing to work on yourself, and stop cheating on your wife and husband. If you are cheating on your wife and husband, just tell them, say, look, baby, I got to come clean. I've been fucking up. And she may leave you for it. I don't know. But I guarantee you feel a lot better about it, and your marriage will become a lot solid. But even if you don't tell her you've been cheating, I guarantee you're going to be morally and spiritually bankrupt inside, and you'll never look at her the same.
It's not always cheating. It could be other things. There could be a lot of other issues that are equally as unethical.
Yeah, spending money that you shouldn't spend. Like, maybe the wife is spending,
lying to the other person just about.
Yeah, spending money on stuff that they shouldn't be spending money on. I mean, there's all kind of stuff that goes on in marriages.
Financial is a huge deal.
I think a lot of people get divorced because of money.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people get divorced. I mean, I'd say that's probably half of the reason why people get divorced.
But if you understood, if you worked on the money situation as a team,
yep,
you can fix it so much faster than us working on it separately. Yes,
you got to both, and they both got to carry their weight. Like, you both have to actively. And if she, my wife we have 5 kids together. I mean, she still helps me with making money. Like, 2 of the parks I bought, mobile home parks, were from her. She found the deals, right? She's active, like, because she knows that that's her legacy, that's her future too. But you have to want to. And listen, the money situation is a totally different story. That's a whole nother dynamic that you have to work on. You gotta put out some fanatical effort, some fanatical focus on trying to make a lot of money, because it ain't easy. That's a whole nother business, right? Just like the business of marriage, right? So anyway, I don't want to get into that topic of making money, but I mean, dude, I get it. Like, marriage is hard, kids are expensive, life is hard, nothing's easy, but don't get caught up in the Joneses, guys. Don't
better and faster as a team.
Yes. And run it like a business, guys. Run it like a business. Anyway, guys, hope you find this message well. Listen, if you're interested in my real estate coaching, maybe you're struggling because you ain't making enough money. You need to get into real estate, particularly wholesaling, right? You need to find another side hustle. My main hustle is real estate. I do a lot of this. My wife's a realtor. We do land development. I own a bunch of mobile home parks. I have a coaching company, but maybe you want to learn how to do real estate. Hit me up, inbox me, go to chrisrood.com, book a call, right? I'd love to help you. I'm putting on an event too in, what is the event, Patty? New Orleans, December 6th and 7th, called Skillet Event. Skilleton 2, December 6th and 7th, New Orleans. I'm going to have a slew of speakers, probably about 15, 14 speakers there, going over all kind of different topics, right? From how to scale a business, how to wholesale, how to flip houses, buy and hold, syndication, raising private money, how to, you know, rehab a freaking business and flip it. I got guys that own $100 million businesses that are coming. So I got a guy that I got off the phone with today. I think he's on here too, Judge. Judge may be speaking, and he sold a $100 million business, right? So we're going to be going over different aspects. Me and my wife are going to be talking about marriage, and I'm going to be talking about personal development, wholesaling, mobile home parks, why mobile home parks are way more profitable than apartment complexes, right? So there's all kind of different things that you can benefit from my event. If you, not just because if you're a real estate investor, you know, my event is not just on real estate. So if you're a business owner, maybe you just started a business, maybe you want to scale your business. Oh, it's too dark over here. Maybe you want to scale your business, right? I've got guys. I've got two guys that actively have one. Vic Tipness. He owns a $100 million plus business. He's the fastest growing, one of the fastest growing businesses in Florida. He's going to be speaking at my event. I got a guy named Miguel Catelier, 30 years old, from Canada. The guy owns not one but two 8-figure businesses. He just won Entrepreneur of the Year for Canada in his province. Or he got nominated to win, but he's probably going to win. But anyway, if you want to come, oh, there's Big Mom. I thought you were sneaking up behind me. If you want to come, I'm going to be posting the link for the tickets here soon, and I want to see you there. I want to help you. I want to help you level up, right? This is how I've leveled up my life. You know, I'm not naturally gifted. I'm not naturally smart, to be honest with you. I'm actually sometimes pretty stupid.
Did you tell them how it's good to go to these events together?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Honestly, if you come to my event, bring your wife, dude. Like, don't just come to my event and leave your wife at home. Get some babysitters if you got kids. Bring your wife. Bring you should even maybe bring your kids. It's gonna be in New Orleans. You can have your wife maybe, and if you can't get babysitters, bring your kids and just have your wife bring them to they got the Audubon Zoo, they got the aquarium, there's all kind of stuff. So just try to make it out there, guys. I guarantee this is how you're gonna level up. You're gonna have to invest in stuff. You're gonna have to go to these events. This is how me and my wife has been able to scale our life, our business, our relationship. We get around the right people, right? We listen to the right people, and we listen to people that have what we want, right? Or what we wish to attain. So get away from all your old friends. If you're the average of the 5 people you hang around with the most, right? If you're still hanging around with all you guys and girls from high school, and you're broken sick, and all your friends are broken sick, is because all your friends are broken sick all the time. That's why you broken sick. Get away from get around other people. Level up. So anyway, guys, appreciate you watching me. Hope this message finds you well. Me and Big Mom are gonna head back inside, but make sure you check out my book too, guys. Even if you can't afford coaching, I got a free book on real estate called The Source of the Deal. You can have a free copy at thesourceofthedeal.com. And Big Mom, you got anything last to say?
Oh, I would love to see you at the event in New Orleans, and if you've never been to New Orleans, you need to. So
Yep, it's
come
awesome.
check us out.
It's awesome. All right, guys, y'all have a good night. Peace.